Since Sukuna emerged from Yuji's body, Yuji has been showing signs of power-up. Instead of becoming weaker, Yuji, who was like an empty shell with traces of Sukuna's cursed energy, potentially has various powers. This is because Yuji can control the power of any object he eats, and from there, he is determined to eat anything to become stronger before the fight against Sukuna. Yuji and the other sorcerers trained for a month, possibly using Myo's simple domain to extend their training time. Through their efforts and Yuji's potential, he gained various buffs and new powers. What are they? Let's dive into them here. First, there's the soul-shaking punch, though not a new cursed technique. It's like a passive skill that increases the damage of Yuji's physical attacks, and is very effective against Sukuna because every time Yuji lands a blow on Sukuna, the output of Sukuna's cursed energy and control over Megumi's body weakens. So the more Yuji lands his punches on Sukuna, the weaker the attacks of the Cursed King's techniques become. The reason Yuji could develop this power is because he is able to contain Sukuna within his body. Thanks to Yuji living with two souls, he can feel and understand the form of someone's soul. This is why his punches have been effective against Mahito all this time. A curse that can control the form of souls, and through contemplation with Sukuna, Yuji can target the boundary between Sukuna's soul and Megumi's soul. As a result, no matter how much stronger Sukuna becomes through Black Flash, Yuji can continue to weaken Sukuna with his attacks. Yuji's skill in sensing the form of other people's souls likely also enabled him to develop another new power, which leads us to Yuji's second new power, Body Exchange. Although only shown once, we saw how Yuji and Kusakabe exchanged bodies in training. So far, we haven't seen its application on the battlefield. Nor have we received detailed explanations, but this possibility is clearly related to Yuji's skill in seeing and feeling souls, especially since he received research notes on souls from Yuki. So currently, in addition to his natural talent, Yuji has also been equipped with deep knowledge about souls and their potential. This technique will be used to free Megumi. Now, Yuji's third power-up comes from a common technique that can be learned by all sorcerers, but is said to be extremely difficult, the Reversal Curse technique. This technique allows a sorcerer to heal their injuries and damaged organs, and in some more skilled individuals, the reversal technique can be used to heal others. With Yuji mastering this crucial technique, he seems to evolve as a fighter in his battle against Sukuna. Yuji appears bolder in delivering attack after attack. At the beginning, when Sukuna hadn't received a nerf like now, his dismantling and cliff attacks were extremely deadly. Several times, Yuji's vital organs were torn apart by him, but thanks to mastering the reversal technique, Yuji could keep rising again. The reason Yuji could master this super difficult technique might be related to the cheating strategy the sorcerers have been using for the past month. They used the simple domain Rokuchusa Mio to extend the preparation time, which should have only been 1 month. Myo's simple domain allows her to challenge others to sumo matches, and the extraordinary thing is that time moves faster inside the domain than in the real world. It's explained that 1,000 rounds of sumo, which would normally take days, can be completed in less than 1 minute. Essentially, 1 minute in the real world equals days in Myo's domain. So, imagine if the sorcerers spent time training in that domain. 1 month in the real world could be equivalent to 2 years in the domain. Therefore, it's no wonder that Yuji could have time to strengthen his curse energy control foundation and learn the reversal technique. Even in the midst of his fight with Sukuna, Yuji was shown to not have mastered the reversal technique perfectly. After receiving 4 attacks from Sukuna that should have killed him, there were organs in Yuji's body that were not yet 100% impacting his body. So, even though he received a very strong buff, we can still see realistic processes and consequences. At that point, Yuji had to be guided by Choso to heal the overlooked organs. As a blood manipulation technique user, Choso had his own way to heal his wounds, and he likely taught this method to Yuji. This is because Yuji's 4th new power is the blood manipulation technique. After deciding to eat anything to become stronger, Yuji ate Choso's siblings, who were still in the form of fetuses. They are the cursed objects dead painting numbers 4 through 9, and from there, Yuji can now master the blood manipulation technique. Choso allowed Yuji to eat his siblings because he wanted to help Yuji. He believed that his siblings could still live inside Yuji's body. In his fight with Sukuna, Yuji was shown using the blood manipulation technique to attack, shooting with piercing blood and making it explode like a supernova. Yuji's attack seemed quite surprising to Sukuna, as he didn't expect Yuji to be able to use that technique. Even as a human, Yuji doesn't have an endless blood supply like Choso. Because of this, as a beginner, he could not yet effectively perform blood convergence or coagulation. As a result, in his fight against Sukuna, Choso had to provide the stable blood supply to Yuji, and this turned out to be quite effective as a combination attack by the brothers. So once again, the power-up that Yuji received still had its limitations. Besides the blood manipulation technique, Yuji also now possesses another curse technique. This is Yuji's fifth new power, the curse technique of the temple belonging to the King of Curses. Yes, after being previously discussed by Gojo at the beginning that Yuji could eventually master Sukuna's technique, this potential was finally achieved. The curse technique, commonly referred to as slashing and cutting, was obtained by Yuji after Sukuna reawakened inside his body. So, once Yuji became Sukuna's vessel and imprisoned him, Sukuna's technique was implanted into Yuji's brain. However, it required a certain condition for that technique to truly awaken. That condition was met when Yuji successfully landed his first Black Flash on Sukuna. After landing that Black Flash, Yuji experienced an awakening phase. All the latent powers within Yuji began to emerge one by one. From there, he started to be able to use Sukuna's curse technique, which is the temple or Misushi. Since he had just started using it, the output of Yuji's temple technique was weaker than Sukuna's. We can also see a difference in the design of the cutting lines between him and Sukuna. Sukuna's cutting lines are usually just straight lines, while Yuji's cutting lines look like dotted lines and scissors. Sukuna mentioned that this difference is due to the different eras and users. So, it's possible that Yuji also has different applications or variations of the temple technique compared to Sukuna. It's important to remember that a curse technique is directly implanted into the user's brain, so the basics and usage methods are automatically embedded in the user's memory. Therefore, it's not surprising that Yuji can immediately use basic attacks as soon as his temple technique awakens. Even new sorcerers in the culling game can do the same, but it's different with more complex technique variations like domain expansion or maximum techniques. These require further training, knowledge, and combat experience to develop. Thus, there may be conditions Yuji needs to achieve to master that level, and this brings us to Yuji's next weapon, which could be the key to his evolution, Black Flash. When a sorcerer lands a Black Flash, they enter a godlike state, where they can exceed their maximum potential by up to 120%. Just like Yuji's first Black Flash against Sukuna that awakened his curse technique, Yuji's next Black Flash might take him to a higher level. The more Black Flashes Yuji lands on Sukuna, the greater his maximum potential increases. After landing his first Black Flash, Yuji has landed a total of 7 consecutive Black Flashes. This shows that Yuji has seemingly mastered Black Flash and can use it at will, an impossible feat for any sorcerer. It's no wonder that after witnessing this phenomenon, Sukuna panicked because Yuji seemed to be surpassing him. Yuji was previously mentioned to be blessed by the Black Flash due to his talent, and after the mystery of his birth was revealed, everything made sense. Yuji is actually the child of Sukuna's reincarnated twin. This is why Yurum wondered if Yuji's potential is equal to Sukuna's. In the world of Jujutsu, twins are considered as one individual, so Yuji could be considered the child of another part of Sukuna. This could mean that Yurum's fear is justified. Besides having DNA from another part of Sukuna, Yuji was likely modified by Kenjaku, his mother, making him a perfect vessel for the King of Curses with immense potential. Gojo also once said that Yuji learns quickly, which could be due to his blood connection with Sukuna, a sorcerer who can master something after seeing it once. The point is, from the beginning, Yuji had immense potential due to his heritage and the mystery of his birth. It's very possible that by landing more Black Flashes, Yuji could awaken other powers, just like Mahito, who evolved his technique after triggering a black flash, Yuji might be able to do the same. These are all of Yuji's power-ups and new ammunition so far. So, do you think Yuji now deserves to be called the main character of Jujutsu Kaisen? That's all for our video this time. Stay tuned for more manga discussions from this channel. See you next time, and stay Wibu.